Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of FWD Talks. I am going to speak on observation and correct interpretation is the key to success in pediatric cases. Myself, I am Dr. Mahesh Chava. I have completed my MD repertory from first batch of Palghar. Presently, I am working as HOD for the Department of Repertory at Hamsa Homeopathic Medical College and Research Center at Telangana. The objectives of today's presentation are to explore the importance of observation in pediatric cases, to interpret our observations into proper repertorial language, to correlate our observations to understand the personality and arrive at the simillimum, and to build up the remedial pictures with reference to children's remedies. Why are pediatric cases difficult to treat for a homeopath? Because the patient himself never gives the full history. We have to collect data from caretakers. We have to collect and confirm the data from our observations. We have to interpret correctly what we have observed. We have to convert our understanding into proper repertorial language and understand the constitution. Some cases are very easy to treat and some cases are very difficult to understand and we have to struggle to understand them. What do we need to observe to understand them? If we see communication, basically it is verbal and non-verbal. And non-verbal is almost 65% that we see. We have to observe their facial gestures, voice inflections, movements of body parts, clothing, body posture, eye contact, everything. All this become very important in communication. According to Peter Drucker, the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. So this is a case of purely treated based on my observations. This is a case of a 3 years old, cute, fair looking girl having albinism since birth. She always greets me and talks to me on her own in clinic. She is always busy, roaming, curiously asks everything I do in the clinic. And she used to accompany mother whenever she used to come for her follow-up. During the month of December 2020, mother casually asked, "Is there any cure for my daughter's peculiar complaint?" She told she passes stool and urine only in standing position, anywhere at home and not in the bathroom. When stool comes, she becomes standstill and passes the motion wherever she is standing. So it was a busy day for me. So I just counseled her on that day and I told her all bacteria and virus will spread at home if you do like that. And for that, she cutely replied, "Yes, doctor, it is bad to pass stool like that. Next time onwards, I will not do like that and I will pass my stool in bathroom only." She left assuring me that she won't do it again. So second time when mother came for her follow-up, she told there was no change whatsoever. So this time I decided to take her case and give her medicine. So patient is suffering from the above problem since 1.5 years. And since birth, they use diapers till 1.5 years of age. Since then, mother has observed this chief complaint. Along with that, she has bedwetting problem, which is seasonal. And since last 6 months, she's passing daily once at night. And along with that, in the past, she had recurrent complaints of upper respiratory tract infection, and mother is taking treatment for eosinophilia. If you see her life space, she is the only child for her parents. Father was working in Dubai and comes home once in a year. Now she stays with grandparents. If someone comes home, she greets them and talks nicely with them and becomes friendly. So she gives water to them and asks, "Where is uncle? Where is auntie?" So she herself starts this conversation first without any hesitation. Another example mother gave, when they were coming to clinic in an auto, mother got down to bring some money change from the local shop. So meanwhile, this patient started conversation with this auto guy and said that they are going to visit doctor, they're going to take treatment and blah, blah, blah. And she started that conversation on her own freely without any fear. So at home, she usually plays with everyone and always likes to be around with people. So if some child comes home, she gives her toys and takes back after some time, saying it is mine. Usually patient don't listen if she told harshly. So this is the limited data that I could get in this case. Coming to physical generals, thirst just 2 liters per day, and thermally she is hot, perspiration on scalp if no fan is there. So my understanding, I've been observing this child since 2 to 3 follow-ups with mother. So she herself starts talking to me and curiously asks whatever I do at clinic. At home, whatever I did in clinic, she used to enact that, and she started taking BP of all family members at home by tying a handkerchief to hand. So whatever I say in the clinic, she politely and in a pleasing manner used to say, "Yes, doctor." So this quality of friendliness, pleasing talk, talking to strangers, greeting others, is something peculiarity in this patient. So I wanted to search these qualities in our repertory. So I got a rubric, charming others. Charming meaning extremely pleasing, delightful, entrancing. Other qualities that we identified are she's talkative, she's curious, she's very affectionate, company desires, and obstinate because in spite of being told to use bathroom, she never uses it. And selfish, I've taken selfishness because after playing with toys, she takes them back after some time saying it is mine. So these are the qualities apart from that I've identified in this case. So if you see repertory, charming others, we have only 2 remedies, marble white and sulfur. So this is my repertorial result. So sulfur, phosphorus, causticum and lycopodium are coming. So this is the child's photo. You can see her cute smile on her face, always charming. So if you see the differential remedies, phosphorus and lycopodium, phosphorus is curious. They are extroverts. They easily mix up with people, with anyone. They are communicative and they are very affectionate. So we can feel that we are talking to a friend. So we have a rubric, affectionate, returns affection. And they love company, and so they naturally attract other people easily with their talks. So looking at this, phosphorus appears to be a closer remedy. But if we see the generosity in phosphorus, they give away their favorite toys and other possessions also. So they are often carried away with this goodwill. Whereas lycopodium, they are timid. They have fear of strangers. They are bashful, and they, if you see them in clinic, they stay very close to their mother when they come to clinic. At home, usually they are tyrants, they are dictatorial, and they are bossy with other siblings at home or friends. Okay, they can boss and say that bring me the toy, I don't want to be here, take me home. So that's that kind of demanding child we can see in lycopodium. And other qualities are they prefer to play with younger children so that he can rule on them. He can be king. So they decide all the rules. They can hit uh, younger and weaker playmates. And another quality is anxiety in front of others. So this is the quality of lycopodium. If you see another differential remedy that coming up is causticum. Causticum causticum children are not curious, but they are sympathetic. They are sensitive to pain. So they have anxiety for others, and we can see them as class leaders, and they have highest ideals and fight for others. They are very sensitive to injustice. So after looking at these differential remedies, the only remedy that coming to my mind was sulfur. So I gave 3 doses to this patient. So she was better with first dose itself. Her beta weighting stopped completely, and patient started going to stool and urine in bathroom itself after that first dose. And it is now almost since a month I have been observing this. So this is the latest follow-up in the month of March 2021. Patient is now at Dubai, absolutely normal, and she is passing stool and urine in bathroom itself, and no bedwetting at all. So this is the power of the simillimum. So if we try to explore sulfur children, sulfur, they are very curious, and even in waiting room, they try to explore everything, touching the pictures, touching everything. They can speak to the receptionist, asking what is that, how that telephone works, what are those wires, how that computer works, all this. So they can play with anyone, even to the strangers also. So this child, we can see she's curious without any fear. She can talk to strangers. So they can make contact quickly with others and gain their trust. So this is the quality of sulfur, and they like to be, they love to enjoy being the center of attention, and they love to speak to others. They like to do things that impress others and to learn about the world. So they are born with a great natural intelligence, and they quickly pursue things and integrate new information. So they have this openness and desire to explore new things. And they have this high intelligence quotient, and usually they receive high grades in school without studying much. So they spend more reading books, science fictions, fantasy books, and they are usually very voracious readers with lot of books at home. Another quality is they are self-centered. They don't usually think of others. So if you see in this case, she is passing stool and urine at home at any place without thinking of anything. She doesn't feel any embarrassment. So apart from that, you can see rubrics like plans, making many plans. So they are very passionate people. They are intelligent, intellectuals. They have the ability for philosophy, theorizing. They have highest reasoning power. They desire. So these are some of the rubrics which are mentioned in sulfur. They said they desire literary work. Their memory is always active, and they have high ambitions. So later part of life, you see haughtiness in them. You see egotism because of their knowledge, and they feel that they are great. So delusion, great they are. So these are the feelings that you can see in sulfur. So this is something new which I have observed in this case, and I felt it is a new learning for me also in this case. See, sulfur I never thought, because looking at that patient, usually phosphorus comes to our mind. But looking at her qualities, sulfur was closely matching to this case. If you see uh, what are the important points in nonverbal communication. So it is the way they talk, how they behave in front of you, what is the eye movement, facial expression, all these become very important. So these are the important points of observation I felt we should know. And how the child is behaving in front of physician, in front of others, reaction of the child during history taking, and the reaction to new surroundings, all this become very important. So apart from that, thermals become very important for us. So, and physical examination, observing the tongue, hands, feet. And as a physician, we have to be very gentle, we have to be very friendly, caring, and should have genuine interest and love for children. So we should be polite, we should be smiling, and never get angry whatsoever if they do. So never, we should, in the first instance itself, we should never start examining the child as he enters the clinic. So my suggestion is to always try to build up a rapport with the child and try to examine. So apart from that, uh, we should ask about mother, the child's behavior, observe the child constantly during the interview. So each and every movements, observation becomes the key in children. So my suggestion is always try to note them properly, spend maximum time without being prejudiced. So try to spend maximum time on that, whatever observations. So at the end, we can try to correlate all those observations. So we should observe those interactions between the child and the parents. So the quality, this quality reveals the quality of the concern of the patients. Okay, and we should never try to laugh or ridicule at the patient, whatever they are saying. So we should avoid being funny, we should avoid amusing, we should not tease them unless the child is known well, until unless. So we should, apart from that, we should never jump to conclusions before prescribing. So my point here is, my conclusion, I would say it is very important. One should give more importance to observations, especially in pediatric cases that are in front of us. And especially the objective symptoms become very important rather than the subjective symptoms, especially in children's cases. So correlating this behavior and complaints will teach the different aspects of materia medica of children and the childhood. So alone we are always smart. Together with sharing we become brilliant. So these are the references which I have taken, and one important book I would suggest is The Homeopathic Treatment of Children, Pediatric Constitutional Types by Dr. Hershque Paul. So he has extensively described about children's types, and he has very closely worked with George Whittelkos. So gratitude to all my teachers at MLD MHI for shaping us, and special thanks to Kumar sir, Bipin sir, and Keyur for coordinating for this presentation. And thanks to my colleagues and staff at Hamsa Homeopathic Medical College. And thanks to all my friends and well-wishers. Thank you.